In the previous video, we learned that there is an Asian town Huyen in Vietnam, where visitors can taste delicious pho or try on the custom-made traditional dress, 奥黛. Historically, Huyen was the first foreign stop of the Asian-Chinese Silk Road. As a country with such a close relationship with China, how do the two cultures exchange and learn from each other? In today's video, let's first take a look at the UNESCO World Heritage Site Huyen, Ancient City. Huyen is divided into two areas by a river, connected by a bridge on both sides. The small town is very interesting. In ancient times, although Huyen was a city in Vietnam, there were basically no Vietnamese people in this town. Instead, Chinese people gathered on one side of the river and Japanese people on the other. When Huyen was opened as a port in the 17th century, it was occupied by those two groups of people. Therefore, in Huyen, there are Chinese and Japanese-style buildings everywhere. And the structures are still intact. They have not been damaged by the war or demolished for the restriction of high-rise buildings. Many ancient buildings and streets in Huyen that have been well preserved today reflect the exquisite combination of Chinese, Japanese, and Vietnamese culture and architectural styles. The layout of the street and the style of the building not only show the simplicity and elegance of Chinese architecture, but also incorporate the natural aesthetic and lifestyle of the locals. Visitors here can not only appreciate the ancient cultural traditions, but also feel the strong regional atmosphere. Among all the buildings, the most famous one is a Japanese-style roofed stone bridge. It has a Chinese name, Lai Yuan Bridge. In 1719, the Vietnamese royal family visited Huyen, taking the Analects of Confucius, which means it's a pleasure to have friends coming from afar and give the Japanese bridge the name Lai Yuan Bridge. The calligraphy still hangs high on the bridge. There are statues of stone monkeys and stone ducks at both ends of the bridge. So, why did they use monkeys and ducks? Because in 1593, a Japanese businessman started building the bridge, and it was completed 2 years later. In Chinese culture, we have 12 zodiac animals. The year 1593 was the year of dog, and the year 1595 was the year of monkey. So, do Vietnamese people believe in the 12 Chinese zodiac animals as well? The answer is a big yes. Vietnam has zodiac signs that are almost the same as those in China. Among the zodiac signs used by the Vietnamese, only one zodiac animal is different from that of China. Vietnam does not have a rabbit, but a cat, because in ancient Vietnamese, the pronunciation of cats and rabbits are almost the same. So Vietnamese people use cats instead of rabbits. Moreover, the local ecosystem is not suitable for the survival of rabbits. So the image of rabbit is still very vague to the Vietnamese. Therefore, the Year of the Rabbit in China becomes the Year of the Cat in Vietnam. And those who belong to the rabbit in China comes cats in Vietnam. Just like China, each animal also has an implied meaning. For the Year of Dog, it carries the auspicious wish for getting rich. The Chinese believe that the barking of a dog is the same as Wang. Well, this is same in Vietnam. So, different years contain different meanings in people's mind. The celebration of the New Year in Vietnam is also a symbol of cultural exchanges and influence. Vietnam inherited the lunar calendar from China. The Lunar New Year and the season of spring start with the Tet festival, which usually falls in late January or early February. Typically, public holidays will be granted for 7 days. Tet is a time when everyone wants to be at home with their family. The house will have been scrubbed clean and decorated. New clothing will be worn. Presents will be exchanged. Before Tet, there will be a rush to buy clothing, vast quantities of food, candles, and flowers. Practically, every family buys a large quantity of food for the Tet festival, not only to eat, but to place on the family altar for the ancestors. City streets are a riot of color with flowers and decorations on each shop and sidewalk store. Among the items for sale are the traditional Thai trees. Pink peach blossom in the north, yellow apricot flowers in the south, and beautifully trimmed kumquat trees everywhere. Some things are considered to be very bad luck if done during Tet. One should never clean the house, insult others, misbehave, swear, or show any anger or grief. Breaking any dishes is also considered a bad omen. In China, it is very important for us to post Spring Festival couplets on our doors during the New Year, and it is equally important for Vietnamese, because the relationship between Vietnamese and Chinese is very close, and couplets in Vietnam are written from top to bottom as well. Another same festival tradition is that Vietnamese people also set off firecrackers during the Spring Festival to drive away evil spirits. At the beginning of this video, we learned about the famous bridge in Hue An Ancient Town. Now, we also know a cultural bridge. The traditional festivals of the Spring Festival and Tet act as another bridge between China and Vietnam which increases mutual understanding. Vietnam and China are connected by mountains and rivers with similar cultures and similar customs and habits. It is no wonder that many Chinese people travel to Vietnam and feel that Vietnam is very familiar and has so much in common with China. The people of the two countries have a history of exchanges for thousands of years. Next time, when you travel to Vietnam, wish you can experience more of the traditional local culture.